What is going on, lads? It's Billy the Kid here, and today I'm here to give you another episode of Battlefield 3 Weapon Overview. Now this series is a series where I talk about a specific weapon in Battlefield 3 and I give you the details, the background of that particular weapon. I'm not going to go over stats or anything like that. I'm simply giving a little bit of an education about the firearm and its history, you know, what country has it, you know, its combat history, etc, etc, for those of you who are interested, because, you know, that's one thing I've always been interested is firearms. I have a lot of firearm books, and I thought I'd share my knowledge of firearms, because a lot of the guns that are in Battlefield 3 I know a good deal about them. So, today's episode is going to be on the SVD Dragunov. Now I know what you're thinking, why are you playing with the SVD Dragunov? It's crap. It's the worst, probably one of the worst semi-auto snipers in the game. Well, I disagree. And also, I've been playing a lot of Recon on PC since I went to PC on BF3. And I decided, you know what, I'm having fun with the SVD. I might as well do this for my next weapon overview. Now I know that you wanted to see the G36C, and trust me, I'm working hard on the engineer class to get that thing unlocked. So hopefully, either that will be my next weapon overview, or if not, I'm going to let you choose what my next weapon overview is. So bear in mind, on the PS3 I had all weapons unlocked, but on PC of course I'm going to have to do that all over again. So bear in mind of all the starting weapons, and if you have one that you want to know a little bit more about, put it in the comment section below and I'll get right on it. So anyway, the SVD Dragunov. Where did it come from? Who designed it? And why? So the design of the SVD Dragunov began in the mid-1950s, when the Soviets realized they need a new dedicated sniper rifle to replace the Mosin-Nagant rifle that they had from World War II and that their armed forces are still using. They need a new design. But here's the thing, when the SVD Dragunov was finally accepted and adopted into service in 1963, it was a mile ahead of anything any other country had at the time. This was the very first dedicated sniper rifle. So when you think back of a sniper rifle, you instantly think back to World War II, World War One, and during World War II especially, a lot of the countries that were involved in that war, like Germany, Russia, America, Britain, all their sniper rifles, like the American Springfield or the M1 Garand sniper variant, the German 98K with the sniper scope on it, the Russian Mosin-Nagant that had the sniper scope on it, all of those weren't really sniper rifles. They were all their frontline combat service rifles that they had optics scoped onto it. So they weren't really dedicated sniper rifles. So when the SVD came into service, that was the very first dedicated sniper rifle. And when it was designed by a guy called Yevgeny Dragunov. Now, unlike Mikhail Kalashnikov, who developed the AK series, Kalashnikov was a military arms designer, while Yevgeny Dragunov was a very well-known civil arms designer. He was actually specialized in designing Olympic marksman rifles. So everybody in the Soviet Union knew who Dragunov was, and they were very interested in getting him into designing a new dedicated sniper rifle. So in the mid-1950s they held a competition with several other designs, and Dragunov's SVD won the competition, and so they adopted it in 1963, and it's been in service in the Russian armed forces ever since, as well as about a dozen other countries. Now what sets out the SVD apart from any other rifle in its class in terms of semi-automatic sniper rifles is, at the time it was introduced, like I said, it was a revolution in sniper rifles. It was the first dedicated sniper rifle, but not only that, everything about the rifle was interesting, including the optics. At the time when Dragunov was developing the rifle, he had some other scientists and designers come in from Germany. Many of them were captured German designers that were from World War II, and he asked them, we need to design a new scope for the SVD Dragunov specifically for this rifle. What are your thoughts? So the designers, along with the German designers, came up with the PSO-1, which is the 4x scope in Battlefield 3. the Russian 4x scope. So when the West first got their hands on an SVD Dragunov, they were blown away with the optics, especially because this optic is a 4x scope. So it's not a 7x scope, it's not a 12x scope. You're not going to be hitting any targets past 1,000 meters with any real accuracy. You can get lucky with a 4x scope. There was a famous story of a Soviet sniper in Afghanistan, and there was this Taliban, Mujahideen, rebel, whoever you want to call him. He was sitting on the top of a mountain, and he was silhouetted with the sky behind him. He was firing a 50 cal machine gun at a convoy, and the Soviet sniper took out his SVD with only a 4x scope. He lined him up and he fired, and he got him with the second shot, and he shot him in the head. And they went up and they found his body, and sure enough they shot him in the head, and he was quite blown away that he could manage to pull off a nearly 1,000 meter headshot with only a 4x scope. Now you could say that Soviet sniper was using the aimbot, but let's just say he was using real skill. And even though it's from 1963, the rifle is still in a lot of use around the world. The Russians still use them. A lot of countries in the Middle East, South America, literally all over the world. Even the Chinese copied their version of the SVD, and they sold them to the civil market as well as to their own armed forces. And a lot of people actually say the QBU-88 in BF3, as well as in real life, is actually a copied down bulletproof version of the SVD. And there is actually a lot of similarities when you look at it, but that's why the SVD is probably one of the best semi-automatic sniper rifles out there still, because it is that accurate and it is that reliable. It looks like an AK. That's what a lot of people see when they see the SVD for the first time, whether it's in a video game or in real life. They think it's an AK because it has the same action as an AK. It's the same safety lever, same, nearly the same cocking handle. It looks a little bit like an AK, but it's got a much different operating system. It was designed for marksmanship and accuracy. So that's pretty much all the background information I can give you about the SVD Dragunov. So let me talk about a little bit about my experiences with it in BF3. Now I have to say I didn't use the SVD a lot in console BF3 for a lot of reasons. There were other rifles that were better, the SKS, the M417, as well as like the bolt action sniper rifles, and quite frankly I didn't play the recon class a lot on BF3 on the PS3. But I have to say, since playing on PC, I don't know why, but I think maybe it has to do with it's a lot easier to aim a sniper rifle on PC, because all you have to do is move the mouse and you can make absolute little minute adjustments, and it's perfect. It's perfect for sniping. And obviously when I was playing as the Russian faction, the SVD is one of the rifles you get. It's the first semi-automatic sniper rifle you get. Since I bought premium, I also got the SKS, and the SV98 is the bolt action. Now when I was playing in Rush, Conquest, Rush in attack and defense, but more in defense, I always chose the SVD and that 4x scope, the PSO1. And I have to say, with the gameplay you're looking, I was just knocking heads off left, right and center. I was actually pretty surprised about how many headshots I was actually managing to pull off. I was clipping guys crossing streets. I have to say, it has a lot to do with working with the mouse and being accurate with the mouse, because obviously you're far more accurate with the mouse than a PS3 controller, but that rate of fire is not as good as say an SKS or an M417. I was getting outshot by snipers, bolt action and semi-automatic, excuse me. But I have to say, I was really enjoying the SVD, and I will continue to use this, and I have continued to use this a lot. I've unlocked a lot. I've unlocked the foregrip, I think like the Russian holographic sight, the laser sight. I think I got this. I don't know. Can you get the suppressor? I think you can get the suppressor. I'm not too sure on that. If I had to give a recommendation, I'd say go with the 4x scope. If you're on attack or defense, if you're on attack, maybe go with the bipod. Or if you're on defense, go with the bipod. But if you're attacking and you want to get up close and personal, maybe go with a Cobra sight and a red dot sight. You can actually use this rifle as a sort of battle rifle and go, you know, it only takes 2 body shots to drop somebody. That's normal mode. I don't know why it is in hardcore mode. And you can drop somebody like that if you got a headshot on them. So give the SVD Dragunov a try. Let me know what you lads think of the SVD Dragunov. As always, leave a like, leave a comment down below, leave your weapon of choice, and I will do a little bit of an overview on that one. And I hope you lads enjoy. This is Billy the Kid. Give the SVD Dragunov a try, and I'll see you again, lads. Thanks again for watching.